My name is Mark Callahan, and I'm going to give you an overview of our Canary dashboard. This is the kind of the place where our canaries are managed and even created. So I'm going to log in, and as if you've seen the first recording, you know that we default to the Canary dashboard. Before I actually go here, I'm actually going to change the filter for the organization just to do stage. And I also going to pop over to the Canary template library page. And this page contains all the libraries that contain the template canaries. So you can load new libraries by organization, and the Canary templates get generated, and then you have access to them in the Canary dashboard. The canaries can be fairly easy to generate. So it come from your DevOps team, the developer on staff, or maybe a third party selling or doing consulting work for you. We have a store that you can upload your canaries if you want, share them, download some another customers' canaries, and the value of the store is that we do some things that promote security and reduce the possibility of vulnerabilities. So I'm going to pop back over to the Canaries dashboard. And as you know, we can set status. I'm just going to put running, and I'm going to actually create it. Well, I'm going to go through the steps to create a canary. Once your library has been loaded, now this is the template library, and your canaries have been generated, you can then come in, pick a provider, and again, a provider is basically the owner or maybe the original developer of it. And this can be whatever you want to pick. You can change it, edit it, no big deal. You can select the service, and the service to us maps to the Canary template library, but it doesn't have to be. So, that's kind of arbitrary, and there's that can change too. So I'm going to come over here and pick Kubernetes Canary type. Every template library that contains Canary templates they're all different types. And so this is just, I think, a generic health check for Kubernetes. It actually does all the internal ones, and then it comes up with whether it's okay or not. API key. There's a default API key for when organizations are generated, or you could create your own. I'm going to put global. Knowing the region availability zone where your virtual environment is located is helpful. If I check this, I'll generate code that I could download and compile that would turn into what we call a Canary agent. And this is an executable app that would communicate with our platform and do the same thing that the Kubernetes canaries do in clusters. And I would name it. I'm not going to name it right now. So once you've done that, you can edit it. So you do get a list of your properties. You do get environmental variables. It's going to vary on the Canary, and then you get an opportunity to set thresholds or alarms, however you want to define it, for latency and response. Notice that you can actually, if you check this box, if there is an alarm because of a response or a latency issue, it will add that to downtime. And we can talk about downtime, how it's calculated in a later recording. So that's all good. So once it's edited, you can look at a running Canary, and you can look at the data. You can look at different panes, different graphs. You can look at, you can zoom in or zoom out, last 24 hours, 3 days, last month, whatever. You can export the data, and this screen gets refreshed every 5 minutes. So I'm just going to pop back here. As I mentioned in the first recording, you have just general information about the Canary, data type right there in front of you, status, running, schedule. I think we've actually shown the schedule in the first first one, let's go back here, look at monthly, look at a weekly, all pretty cool. Where the image is coming from, what cluster it's running on, and you can stop it, start and stop. The Canary agents are a little bit more difficult. You actually have to stop it, and stop the agent. The last thing I want to show you is notifications. So when you have an alarm, you can set up notifications. And notifications, there's really two buckets. There's system notifications that the platform generates automatically to collect metrics for every canary. And this is the tool that we use to actually do that. It's really the same piece of code that actually will send notifications to different channels. So we can do that. You can create your own notification name, channels, if you whatever you want. You can include more than just one, so you can include all of them. If you're using all of them, status from okay to, let's say, alarming. You can put a description, summary. You can list the urgency, impact, and priorities too. So that's all really good, and that will be part of the channel when it's set up. Our alarm categories, there's basically 5 of them right now. In theory, we can actually add more too, but that's a separate issue. So response, the data you're getting from that endpoint. You could get an error obtaining that information, and it's a variety of different things that could happen. You could get an error parsing that response. You could get an error on alarm, I should say, on latency. If it's an hour, it's definitely a problem. And you can certainly also get a alarm on downtime. Within each category, you can look at the notifications. We have 2 here. We can look at the history. We can look at the alarm evaluations. You can just go down, keep going down. Alarm history and metric data. This is the actual data that we're getting back. Interesting. So that's notifications, and that's a little bit more of a deep dive on our Canaries dashboard. I want to thank you very, very much for listening, and if you have any feedback, please email us on it. So with that, have a very good rest of the day. Thank you much.